You felt your trust was broken with Vince multiple times this season, but you still wanted to work with him up until your eviction. What made you feel like you could keep working together? And how do you look back on your relationship now?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, Vinny, quite the character there, huh? Yeah, our relationship was pretty complicated. I felt like he was definitely someone that I would, hang out with in everyday life. So that made it easy to just kind of connect with him uh, personally. Game wise, looking back on it, he really never did anything for my game aside from keep me off the block because he always kind of like backstab me and would always consistently lie to me. um but I've said it before that it felt like we had that big brother little brother relationship, and it was one of those things where I never really wanted to turn my back on him. More so once the jury phase started and Rachel was eliminated immediately. That was very bad for my game because I did want to stay true to that final two and see how far we could go together. I wasn't under any delusions. I didn't think Rachel and I, excuse me, would make it to the end together. Was it possible? Yes, but I did not think that would happen. I felt like she was a much larger target than me in the jury phase, or would be. And my strategy at that point was, whoever takes Rachel out, she probably will hold a grudge against. And I wanted to make a final two with that person, knowing that she would advocate for me to win. So I can't remember what the initial question was, um, but yeah, I was very very faithful to Vince, and I got the opportunity, since Rachel had left the game, I would have probably wanted to take him to the final two just because of the sibling esque relationship.
You also had quite a complex dynamic with Rachel, consistently at odds yet trying to work together. What's your perspective on your relationship, and how far did you plan on taking her in your game before the White Locust twist happened?
How far did I plan on taking her? Well, I mean, to be honest, it was more how far we planned on taking each other because that would have been an incredible feat to accomplish, in my opinion. Because outside of each other, the people we were working with were, well, the perception was at least that they were on opposite sides of the house. So I felt like us getting to the end was would have been together would have been a very crazy accomplishment. But if I could write it a certain way, her and I would have been sitting in those final two chairs together, with my resume being so undeniable that I would win. But who knows? Because she was obviously a large target the entirety of the game, and for her to be sitting in the final two chairs would have been a tremendous feat. So she very well could have won in that scenario. But yeah, we had a complex relationship, and but at the basis of that, we really did trust each other. She never gave me a reason not to. If I ever didn't trust her, it was because of other people kind of getting in my head saying, you can't trust her, you can't trust her, and that was something that I kind of learned on my journey there. Was I had a couple rules that I had kind of built in my little mental Big Brother notebook there, and one of the rules was, when people give you information, receive that information through their lens. And so obviously, they are trying to do me a service by telling me not to trust her because they don't trust her. But that doesn't, just because she may be lying to them doesn't mean she's lying to me. And I truly believe she never lied to me. And for that reason, I would have taken her to the end, or we would have taken each other to the end. I like to believe, if we could.
In the beginning of the game, you got into multiple confrontations with Jimmy, at one point telling everyone you would pick them off one by one. What was your purpose behind these comments, and how do you think that affected the way that you played moving forward?
Oh man, oof. This is embarrassing. You ready for this one? So so me doing that, at that point in the game, what was that? That was picking the players for the veto competition. I believe was when I said I would pick everybody off one by one. At that point, I had built what I thought was good relationships with about 5 or 6 other people. There was no like alliance or anything set in stone, but there was kind of a unspoken, which if I were to play again, make sure it's a spoken agreement. But it was kind of like an unspoken agreement that we would all work together. And when I made those comments about picking everybody off one by one, that was actually intentional to make my target larger to kind of take any sort of aim away from the people that I would be working with. Only later to find out that as soon as I said those comments, they also thought I was coming after them as well. So they were targeting me too. So that was a huge backfire. Luckily I was able to dig myself out of that hole, and I guess made for a decent story, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't do that again.
Looking back on your time in the house, what's move you either regret making or not making the most?
Well, if I could go back, I would probably do a couple things differently. One of those things being, obviously maybe not trusting Vince so much. So it's hard to use the word regret because that's just in my nature. But I would not, like, if I could go back and do it again, I would not trust so easily. I know that's in my nature, but that's something I got to iron out of me if I would ever, come back and play again, or even if I, uh, just in life in general. Maybe, hey, if this game is kind of a microcosm for life, maybe I shouldn't be so trusting with everyone in general, huh?
Finally, give me your rapid fire thoughts on each of the remaining house guests, starting with Ashley.
With Ashley, I would say smart would be the way that I would describe her. Believe it or not. I say believe it or not because I know we didn't know, we always kind of butted heads as well, not for any other reason. But yeah, she was very good at hiding her intellect, and it was very prominent how well she did that when there was few people in the house, and I was forced to speak to her more often. So I would say smart for Ashley.
Ava.
For Ava, I would say lovable, creative. Uh, you know, Hanging out with Ava is always a joy, and she has this way about just making you feel good about yourself.
Morgan.
I would say joy. Morgan's someone that when you hang out with her, you always laugh. So there's always a sense of joy. When you hang out with Morgan.
And finally, Vince.
Vince, I guess I got to go with liar on that one. But he's a great personally. Love the guy, so I have nothing bad to say about him personally. But dang, in this game, liar for sure.